The problem is that most Americans aren't eating nearly enough of these life-saving vegetables. According to USDA dietary surveys, over 90% of adults in the United States fail to consume the recommended daily intake of vegetables. And even those who do are often choosing starchy options like corn and potatoes, which, while technically vegetables, don't offer the same level of protection against aging, cancer, and cardiovascular disease. In a typical U.S. household, it's easier to find soda, chips, and frozen meals than dark leafy greens or cruciferous vegetables. And when people are stressed, tired, or pressed for time, like most working families in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and Australia, they reach for what's easy and familiar. But that choice, repeated day after day, year after year, is slowly killing them. People often say genetics determine how long you'll live, but that's only part of the story. Research from the United States National Institute on Aging and numerous global studies show that lifestyle, especially diet, accounts for up to 80% of longevity outcomes. That means what you eat every single day either fuels aging or fights it. It either supports your immune system or tears it down. It either cleans your arteries or clogs them. And vegetables are the foundation of that equation. The 5 listed, broccoli, spinach, red cabbage, garlic, and kale, work synergistically to target nearly every pathway of aging known to science. They lower oxidative stress, improve insulin sensitivity, support detox pathways, enhance DNA repair, and regulate inflammation. These aren't just side dishes, they're tools for survival in a system where healthcare is reactive, not preventative. Ask yourself, do you want to rely on 12 medications in your 70s just to manage basic functions? Do you want to lose your memory, your independence, your ability to walk, drive, or even hold a conversation with your grandkids? Or do you want to be one of those rare individuals in their late 90s or even past 100, still reading books, gardening, cooking your own meals, and remembering the names and faces of everyone you love? That choice is made in the kitchen, not the hospital. Because by the time you're hooked up to machines, it's too late to ask what you should have eaten. Doctors across the United States are starting to speak up about this. Many of them, especially those who've worked in emergency rooms or geriatric care for decades, say the same thing. The patients who come in with the most medications, the most diseases, and the least mobility are almost always the ones who neglected their diet for years. It's not about being thin or fitting into a certain size. It's about cellular resilience, the kind that only nutrient-dense vegetables can offer. Even when people try expensive supplements or trendy health fads, they often miss the basics. You can't supplement your way out of a poor diet. These vegetables provide not just vitamins and minerals, but critical phytochemicals and fiber that synthetic pills can't replicate. There are stories of people in their 60s and 70s in the United States who reversed years of metabolic disease just by consistently adding these 5 vegetables to their meals. One man with type 2 diabetes, facing kidney failure, turned his health around by eating giant salads with kale and spinach every day, roasting red cabbage, cooking with garlic, and steaming broccoli with olive oil. He dropped his blood sugar, lost 40 pounds, and avoided dialysis. Another woman with severe hypertension started drinking green smoothies loaded with spinach and kale, and within months her blood pressure normalized and her energy returned. These are not rare miracles. They're biological responses that the human body was built for. When it's fed the right fuel, it heals itself. But when it's deprived, it decays. This isn't about perfection. You don't need to go vegan or spend hundreds of dollars at health food stores. You just need to be consistent. In a country like the United States, where chronic illness dominates nearly every age group and over 70% of adults are overweight or obese, even small steps toward real food can have massive consequences. Broccoli steamed or roasted with garlic, spinach sautéed in olive oil, kale added to your morning eggs, red cabbage shredded into tacos or soups. These are not difficult changes, but they require intention. And for many people in the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia as well, the same struggle exists. Processed food is everywhere, and convenience often wins. But the people who live the longest, those rare individuals over 100 who still feel vibrant, almost always have one thing in common: a lifelong habit of eating vegetables like these. What's stopping you? Is it taste? Learn how to season them. Is it cost? These vegetables are cheaper than almost any medication and widely available even in low-income communities. Is it time? Most of them take less than 10 minutes to prepare. And if your children are watching, remember that your choices are shaping their health future too. Kids raised on vegetables grow into adults who crave them, and those habits will protect them from the same diseases that now overwhelm hospitals across the United States and Canada. One generation can break the cycle. Americans are spending more on health care than any other nation on earth, over $4 trillion a year, yet are among the sickest in the developed world. The answer isn't more prescriptions, it's in the grocery cart. These 5 vegetables, simple as they are, have the potential to transform the health of millions. They support the immune system, detoxify the body, balance hormones, fight cancer, restore energy, protect the brain, strengthen bones, and fuel the kind of aging that doesn't just add years to life, but life to those years. This is real prevention. This is what medicine should look like. It's not dramatic. It's daily. It's the food on your plate. And it's the choice between surviving and thriving. Most people in the United States worry about growing old and becoming frail, dependent, or seriously ill. But what if the real secret to living past 100 isn't in a pill, a surgery, or some high-tech device, but something already growing in the soil of your backyard? From decades of research in places like the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia, the connection between diet and long life is undeniable, especially vegetables. Not just any vegetables, but specific ones that are consistently linked with lower rates of heart disease, cancer, cognitive decline, diabetes, and inflammation. These aren't exotic superfoods flown in from the other side of the world. They're simple, common, affordable vegetables that many Americans pass over in the grocery aisle without realizing they could be the difference between disease and longevity. The first vegetable on the list that can truly impact your life is broccoli. In the United States, broccoli is everywhere, yet most people don't eat it often enough to get its full benefit. Broccoli is part of the cruciferous vegetable family, which includes cauliflower, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. These vegetables contain sulforaphane, a sulfur-rich compound known to activate powerful detoxification enzymes in the liver. When cells are under attack from carcinogens, toxins, and free radicals, which are heavily present in most American diets and environments, sulforaphane works like a firefighter. It turns on genes that repair DNA and suppress tumor formation. In several studies across the United States and Canada, higher intake of broccoli and its cruciferous relatives is linked to a 40 to 50% lower risk of various cancers, especially lung, breast, colon, and prostate. Think about that. A vegetable you can steam in minutes or throw into a stir-fry can dramatically reduce your chances of getting a disease that terrifies millions of people. But it doesn't stop there. Broccoli is also high in vitamin K and calcium, which play a critical role in maintaining bone density. Americans, especially postmenopausal women, face a serious risk of osteoporosis, leading to fractures that can permanently alter their independence. Eating broccoli consistently helps counteract this process naturally. Add to that its ability to reduce inflammation markers like CRP, C-reactive protein, which doctors in the United States now test routinely to gauge heart disease risk, and you begin to see why this vegetable deserves space on your plate every single day. People in long-living regions like Okinawa or certain Mediterranean areas often consume cruciferous vegetables several times per week, not as a chore, but as part of their lifestyle. Imagine how different things could look in the US if more people adopted this simple habit. The second vegetable that can add years, if not decades, to your life is spinach. Spinach is one of the most nutrient-dense foods available and commonly found in supermarkets across the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. But its benefits go far beyond its convenience. Just 1 cup of raw spinach delivers more than 50% of your daily vitamin A, nearly double your daily vitamin K, and high levels of folate, magnesium, and antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin. These 2 antioxidants are especially important in a country like the United States, where age-related macular degeneration is the leading cause of vision loss in people over 60. Lutein and zeaxanthin accumulate in the retina and protect it from oxidative stress, slowing or even preventing this devastating condition. People have described losing their eyesight as worse than death. Spinach may help prevent that. Spinach also supports cardiovascular health. It's one of the best natural sources of dietary nitrates, which convert in the body into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide dilates blood vessels, lowers blood pressure, and improves blood flow. Exactly the opposite of what leads to heart attacks and strokes. In a country where one person dies every 33 seconds from cardiovascular disease, according to the CDC, adding a daily serving of spinach isn't just smart, it's life-saving. And because spinach is so versatile, easy to blend into smoothies, toss in salads, or saute with olive oil and garlic, there are almost no excuses not to include it. It also supports brain health. Folate deficiency, which is common in older adults in the United States and Australia, has been linked with memory loss and even depression. Spinach's high folate content helps counteract this and supports neurotransmitter function in the brain. Red cabbage also contains glucosinolates, another class of anti-cancer compounds similar to those found in broccoli. When you chew or cut red cabbage, these glucosinolates are activated and help the body eliminate harmful toxins before they can do damage. The vegetable also stores well and retains nutrients better than many greens. While the average U.S. household spends more on processed snacks than fresh produce, red cabbage is one of the cheapest superfoods available, and its shelf life is incredibly long, reducing waste and cost. Adding it to tacos, wraps, or even roasting it with a little vinegar, and olive oil can turn it into a powerful health weapon that supports both your heart and your brain well into old age. The fourth vegetable with undeniable life-extending potential is garlic. While technically a bulb, garlic is commonly treated as a vegetable and used daily in households across the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and Australia. But what most people don't realize is that garlic has been one of the most heavily researched natural substances in medical history. Its primary active compound, allicin, is released when garlic is chopped or crushed. Allicin is a potent antimicrobial, antifungal, and antiviral agent, and in modern clinical studies, it's been shown to lower blood pressure, improve cholesterol levels, prevent blood clots, and reduce the overall risk of cardiovascular disease. That's critical in a country like the United States, where heart disease remains the #1 cause of death, despite trillions of dollars spent on medications, surgeries, and hospitalizations. Garlic has also shown anti-cancer properties, particularly in reducing the risk of colorectal, stomach, and prostate cancer. In fact, populations in southern Italy and certain rural areas of the United Kingdom and France with high garlic consumption have significantly lower cancer rates compared to areas with less garlic in their diet. It's not just cultural, it's biochemical. Allicin helps kill cancer cells, reduce inflammation, and deactivate cancer-causing substances. In many American hospitals, garlic supplements are now being explored alongside conventional cancer treatments, and when used in its raw form, such as crushed into dressings, mixed into guacamole, or added at the end of cooking, it delivers the strongest medicinal effect. People often report lowered blood pressure and cholesterol within just a few weeks of incorporating raw garlic consistently into their diet. Garlic also supports immune function on a deep cellular level. During the COVID-19 pandemic, sales of garlic supplements soared across the United States and Canada as people sought natural ways to strengthen their defenses. This wasn't just folklore. Garlic contains compounds that stimulate the activity of natural killer cells, macrophages, and lymphocytes. These are your body's frontline soldiers. In aging adults, especially those over 60, these immune functions often slow down, making even a simple cold potentially life-threatening. Regular garlic intake can reverse some of that decline and keep your immune system active and alert. It's not just about avoiding colds, it's about avoiding pneumonia, sepsis, and other infections that can be deadly in later years. And considering garlic's role in fighting internal inflammation, which is now known to be at the root of nearly all chronic diseases, the evidence is clear. This humble bulb can play a massive role in keeping Americans alive and thriving into their 90s and 100s. The fifth and possibly most underrated vegetable for extreme longevity is kale. In the United States, kale exploded in popularity a few years ago, showing up in everything from chips to smoothies, but its real power lies far beyond the health fads. Kale is one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet, per calorie. It's loaded with vitamins A, C, and K, and it delivers critical minerals like manganese, copper, and potassium, all of which are essential for maintaining cellular health, blood pressure balance, and bone strength. In particular, vitamin K, especially K1, which is abundant in kale, plays a crucial role in calcium metabolism and preventing arterial calcification. Arterial calcification is one of the silent killers in aging adults across the United States, often leading to sudden heart attacks or strokes, even in people who seem relatively healthy. Kale also contains powerful antioxidants like quercetin and kaempferol, which help reduce inflammation at a systemic level. Chronic inflammation is one of the hidden threats that destroys quality of life as people age in America. It causes joint pain, damages blood vessels, weakens the immune system, and accelerates mental decline. Kale's compounds interrupt that process, and with its high fiber content, kale helps maintain stable blood sugar, making it ideal for preventing type 2 diabetes, which affects over 38 million Americans today. In many cases, people have reported dramatically improved blood sugar levels after just a few weeks of consistent kale intake, especially when paired with a lower-carb, whole-food diet. Kale is also one of the top sources of plant-based calcium and magnesium, making it a bone health powerhouse. Bone fractures in older Americans are not just painful, they were often the start of a serious health decline. Many never fully recover. The loss of mobility, increased dependence, and higher infection risk following a fracture often spirals into long-term care or early death. That's why preventing bone loss is not just about taking a supplement, it's about building bone-supporting habits through real food. Kale delivers that, and it supports detoxification, thanks to compounds that activate both phase 1 and phase 2 liver enzymes. These enzymes are the ones that neutralize toxins and prepare them for elimination. Critical in a world where Americans are bombarded by environmental toxins, microplastics, synthetic preservatives, and pharmaceutical residues in food and water. In addition to all of this, kale has been linked to improved cognitive function. Lutein, found in high amounts in kale, is not just good for the eyes, it's also associated with better memory and faster processing speed in older adults. This matters in a country like the United States, where Alzheimer's and other dementias are expected to rise sharply in the next 2 decades. Eating kale regularly may be one of the few natural ways to delay that cognitive decline. People in their 70s and 80s who include kale, spinach, and other leafy greens in their daily meals consistently outperform their peers on cognitive tests. Some researchers even estimate that this dietary habit could make the brain function up to 11 years younger.